Hey everybody, video here for you today. I'm working on this Saturday, and I'll upload this Saturday evening or Sunday morning, but let's go down to the Red Pyramid at Dashur in Egypt here. North of Mazguna is Dashur. Here is the Red Pyramid, and I made a video during my Egypt Pyramid series about this could be 8-sided. That's something. Here is the video I made well over 2.5 years ago, the big mystery of the Red Pyramid, and when I zoomed into this, to me, it looked like there was an indentation up the middle of each side, and this was 8-sided, just like the Great Pyramid. That's just what it looked like in my mind's eye. Here is a video I shot this morning. If you are standing directly behind the Red Pyramid, directly west, this is the view you would get this morning on the Spring Equinox. Of course, the sun would come up right over the tip of the pyramid today. These people worship the sun, and they related their stories on Earth to the path of the sun in the sky. Today's date, Spring Equinox. Well, there's some pretty special alignments today in Egypt. This is Curiosmos. I've used them before. It says 7 stumping facts about ancient Egypt's Red Pyramid. The Red Pyramid is the third largest Egyptian pyramid after those at Khufu and Khafre. It says here the so-called Red Pyramid was the third pyramid built by Pharaoh Senefru, located around 1 kilometer north of the Ben Pyramid. And back in the Old Kingdom, they didn't call them pharaohs, they just called them kings. The word pharaoh didn't come along, I believe, until the Middle or New Kingdom. It says the construction of the Red Pyramid is believed to have begun during the 30th year of the pharaoh's or the king's reign. It says Egyptologists believe that the Red Pyramid is a direct outcome of architectural and engineering problems that the builders experienced during construction of the Pyramid of Meidum and the Ben Pyramid. Some scholars think that Senefru's attempt at Meidum was his first attempt at a smooth-sided pyramid, and they argue at Meidum it may have collapsed when construction on the Ben Pyramid was already underway, and it's very confusing. And then there's other structures like the nearby Ben Pyramid that I think are some original, very, very ancient structures, and I think there is an architectural problem here. But maybe whoever built this put some sacred geometry, built some math into the structure. That's entirely possible. And people say, well, this has maybe been rebuilt from an earlier structure, but you don't use the most ancient, the most sophisticated way of building. And these ancient interlocking stones on the outside of the pyramid seems to be a very ancient way of doing things. And here's John Anthony West at the base of the Ben Pyramid here, and you notice that these outermost stones are interlocked, and then they come out, and then they're smooth on the outside, but they are interlocked into the stones here, right here at the base of the pyramid. This is just a fascinating sight here, and some of the most confounding construction ways found on the face of the earth, really. Here we are at the base of the Red Pyramid. This is a large pyramid, totally different construction method than the Ben Pyramid. Doesn't have the casing stones that are interlocking, but the third biggest pyramid in Egypt, certainly an impressive structure here. Bottom covered in debris. These large pyramids in Egypt, after looking at all of the so-called pyramids in Egypt, I'm under the belief that there is a mound underneath all these, and they were used as the original foundation for these pyramids. Did Senefru build the strange bent pyramid and the red pyramid and the one down at Meidum? Well, I think he might have been the pharaoh that built the most temples outside of these places, and then he gets his name attributed to the original builders. That's just the way it appears to me. But to me, the much more likely answer here for these two very different pyramids is that the red pyramid represents the sun, the Ben pyramid represents the moon. That's the way it seems to me, just based on the way this ancient culture represented things. Here's a look inside of the chamber in here. Huge, massive granite blocks, a small entranceway. That block right here is absolutely massive. What kind of tools would it require to make that? And a corbelled ceiling. This appears to be ancient, just like the pyramids of Giza. Now you come through, and then this chamber, this is really the mystery of the place here. You see these well-made blocks are sitting on top of this right here. And what is the story here? Personally, I think all the pyramids are built over an ancient mound. I know the one at Giza is. I showed you how some of those bottom blocks are not stone blocks, they're actually part of the ancient mound. I think this is built on an ancient mound. And just like over here at Lepsius #1, this is a true mystery. There just is a shaft built into the top of this and the side kind of the mound. I think this was intended to be a pyramid, but they chose not to build here, maybe because it's too close to the Nile. But I think all large pyramids started as a mound. They put a shaft into it and then took it from there. I really think this is how the pyramids were built. This is my Giza pyramids, parts of bases, not stone blocks. What they did is they took the mound that was already here, cut steps into it, and they use this as the base of the pyramid to give it stability, but certainly eliminates the problem of carrying blocks over a long distance if you can just carve them right out of the hill and place them right there. They say in the ancient texts the first temples were built on the primordial mounds. Here is a strange pyramid of Djedefre, as they call it, but this shaft was cut into the earth on top of a large hill here. Maybe this was intended for a pyramid too. This is the way they started them right here. Now, one thing I learned during my Egypt pyramid series is some of these really aren't pyramids at all. Here is the bent, the red pyramid, and then kind of right down in this area, I did the video on this mysterious place, and the story behind this is rather fascinating and disturbing. But here up on top of a hill, shaft cut in, it seems that they were either starting something or this was all this was intended to be, but it's up on a mound here, and that's why nobody really knows about this site. Let's let John Anthony West take over here now. This is about a 10-minute clip from my buddy Carlos's video here. I will leave the full link below. Mr. West has his tour group inside of the Red Pyramid here. It's very hard to hear. The sound kind of reverberates off the walls here, but I'm just going to play this. At least you can get a really good look at it. You might be able to pick out some of the audio, but I'll get back at you at the end and kind of review what was said here.
Actually, before we attack that back room, because I know it smells of roughly 5,000 years of bat pee. Actually, at one point they had a ventilating system. When they just opened it up, it was even worse than it is now. And they had a ventilating system that, of course, now no longer works. So let me just talk a little bit about it here, and then when we go up there, we don't have to sit in this hot, and there's plenty of us.
I just wanted to ask you, is that an ancient repair?
With
That?
no, that's all. All this stuff is modern. Once they opened this up in whatever it was, 97 or so, I've been puzzling over that room, the so-called plundered tomb chamber, which it obviously isn't. I mean, the interesting thing about it, well, many interesting things about it. A, has everybody been up there yet? No, not everybody. We'll all go. Anyway, you see that these big but very roughly dressed stones, I don't think they're the way they come out of the quarry. I think they've been worked a little bit, and they're put together at this horseshoe shape, very similar to a whole bunch of all kinds of megalithic constructions that have that horseshoe shape. Also, you see that we go up about whatever it is, say 4 flights of steps to get up there, 4 stories, what?
It's not bad.
And then, no, it's not bad, but the bottom of it, where the stones are all jumbled up, is still considerably higher than the ground level. We're at the ground level according to the plan. So, the interesting thing, or one of the interesting things to look into is that megalithic construction on top of something else, or maybe just a natural hill, but it's not ground level. I mean, in other words, there's something beneath it there. If it's a construction, well, that would be cool. If it's just a hill, well, it's a hill, and anyway, it's there. It's there in advance. I mean, there's no argument, as far as we're concerned, shocking myself, there's no argument about that. It's not a plundered tomb chamber. Plunderers don't do that in order to get at the treasure. They have other ways of treasures, if that's what they're looking for. My guess is where we need the geologists in to really look at it carefully, is what was responsible for that jumble in there. Would it be an earthquake? It's not, it's not dynamite, obviously. It's a mystery. And what's clear is that whoever built this pyramid took into account that was there first, and they enshrined it within the pyramid. And once it's there, of course, it's absolutely pristine, the way it was the day that they built the pyramid over it. Anyway, I was always wondering about that jumble. It somehow didn't compute. And I think I mentioned this before, I want to repeat it. On one of my trips, a fairly early trip, I don't know, middle 90s, Doug Kenyon, who's the guy who publishes Atlantis Rising magazine, was on the trip. It was actually, they put a trip together, Atlantis Rising people. And he was ahead of me as we were going in that passage that leads to the non-plundered, the unplundered tomb chamber. And I heard him say in front of me, wow, look at that, those stones are all weathered. This must be here first. And I went, I've been looking at these things, how many times? A dozen times I've been there already and I hadn't been able to figure it out. So it's that sort of thing that gives me a little, not much, feel a little bit of compassion for the academics who are actively not looking for things, and but to a certain extent, you can be looking for it and you still don't get it. I'm always looking for further evidence, and half the evidence I have comes from other people. Anyway, so and you can see actually there would have been almost certainly it would have been roofed, and or maybe there was another course, but anyway, they cut it. See, it goes underneath, and so they just build right on top of it. Actually, interesting technical question is if these blocks are resting right on this, this. I never thought of this before. Right on the structure. Now, the structure is obviously in disrepair. I'm wondering if those blocks are supported from the other side in one way or another. Because the substructure here is taking fantastic amounts of weight, vertical thrust. So I'm wondering if it's strong enough really to hold all of that up on its own, or if it's supported from the back. It would be an interesting study. Anyway, can you see everybody? You want to get in? Oh. You see what I mean, actually. You see, he's definitely been exposed to the elements for very long periods of time. And so if we ever get our geopanel together, this is one of the top places to look and to examine and study whatever evidence the geologists can extract from this weird structure. And you see, that's the floor there. So what's beneath it? Is there another structure beneath? Or is it just a natural hill? The seismograph or ground penetrating radar should give us an answer to that very, very quickly. So there's a lot of interesting stuff still to be done. Okay, that's it for me. I think Sheikh Gamal should do a flower essence of this. Red Pyramid bat tea.
Here's this, John, here's this little dressed John passage down here.
What's that?
See where my light is? Over here? To the right?
Yeah, oh, this here?
Yeah.
No,
Comes to a dead end. Who knows?
John is at this angle.
What? Yeah.
The weather stuff is more dressed.
Yeah, that's the actual, it's intrinsic to the Red Pyramid structure. But what its purpose might be, who the hell knows? I don't know.
So did you see the line I was talking about? It's right here.
Where?
Right here at this level.
Sorry.
And it goes all the way around.
Where's that now?
Right by my hand. Where my hand is.
Oh, this line?
You can follow this line horizontally around the entire chamber.
Oh.
Why? I don't know.
Not quite.
But that's because it's still on the bottom.
Probably, yeah.
But so where is ground level outside right now?
Well, actually, those, according to the plan, we actually, and used to be outside, but the floor of the two chambers is ground level.
So we are above ground?
We're above ground. That's
Oh
what's interesting
my
about,
God.
see, that's what's interesting about these things. Is there another structure beneath? Or is it just a hill? Or what is it? And the ground penetrating radar, the seismic actually give us an answer in a hurry.
Right, and what I was
Except that
thinking,
these jackasses are still talking about a plundered tomb chamber, so of course nothing's gonna happen.
but this looks like it could be naturally fractured beds of limestone over there. But when I walked over and looked at this, no, those are definitely set lines.
Yeah, but this can't be naturally fractured stuff in there, can it?
Yeah, I've seen stuff look like that. Sort of, yeah, I have, but like
That?
in there.
Yeah.
In there,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a dead giveaway.
Yeah. And these here, I mean, these are all quarried.
Yeah.
They're quarried.
I've seen some pretty nicely fractured beds of limestone, but that is not. for
And what
sure.
about those two?
They look like they've been set there.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's head for the fresh air.
This is
What?
fascinating.
Yeah.
All the
okay.
way, every day.
Yeah,
But you see that line? It goes
yeah.
all
I
the
know.
way around.
Yeah, you're right.
What is that?
That's known as Lane's Line.
Lane's line.
That's Lane's Line.
Was there a floor there?
So you got Alistair's Pig and Lane's Line and West Well.
That's right. There we go. Yeah. Lane's Line. That's good. I like that. And Alistair's Pig.
Alistair Pig.
Look over here, it's more than a line.
Hey, Lane. She means the line of
Yes. Oh, yes,
Yeah, as if there was some mound is. There. I don't know.
Hey, John?
They're calling us.
So, I don't know if I heard you say, but this, I would say definitely was a floor line here.
Was what?
A floor line, see the corner over there?
That's what I thought.
See the masonry?
Oh, yeah.
The line of masonry here?
This, over here.
Well, especially you see it in the corner where I have my light far over to the far right corner, to the right, and down.
Well, maybe that was the roof.
Yeah. Question is, where did it go?
Well, it covers the megalithic structure, maybe. Okay.
So John, did you notice upstairs the megalithic structure, remember the wraparound corners?
Yeah.
There's two wraparound corners in the upper
It's here too.
Yeah.
one on each side, and they only wrap around about 3 inches.
Here too, man.
And here?
Oh, you got one there? So they knew how to do this. Ah, yeah. Just a good one.
What do you mean rubber round?
This is one block.
Oh, I see. Okay. See.
And here they don't. This is one of the very, very few places where they don't have those inverted coins. Where the wraparound corners. It's one of the few places where it's not.
Well, we have it here.
We do another chant out on
Up there.
And it's upstairs too.
Is it?
Yes,
Is that
for sure.
one?
Look at this, look at the...
Zach, you can match the pitch well, right?
No, isn't that strange? Because the other side isn't.
We saw a couple upstairs too.
Yeah, Lane said. That's very strange.
And always on the base course.
Always on the way.
Weird.
Great, that's good.
You can make out some of that video, but it's just some mystery in here. What was the whole intention of this? Is there a mound just under here? And this is way above ground level. Is that the way they made pyramids? Why is this just sitting on these rough rocks? Is this the way they did things? Does this explain some of the possible voids in the Great Pyramid? They are just kind of construction methods, and then they put maybe a floor in here and cover up the rough stones. It's all a big mystery. That's why Egypt is so fascinating. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments, give your thoughts. There appears to be a tunnel coming out right down here. I will leave the full link to this video below. John Anthony West at the Necropolis at Dashur. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are all doing well out there, coping with the present situation. And after 1,750 videos, I think I'm going to finally say this for the first time. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit my little dingy-lingy thing down there, and, oh, that did not sound right. Let me try this again. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, hit my notification bell down there, and you all have a very safe day.